Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Blue here with Black in the Black times Infinity. Thanks, Batman. So I am going to be reviewing Batman Telltale game. I have to say that this is an amazing game. From beginning to end, the story is awesome. The artwork it's cartoony with the cell shading, but it's still really good. The characters that are in there are pretty awesome. The gameplay is cool. There was a few glitches with the game, but overall it was still a really good game. So just to let you know, this is going to be a spoiler review. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil too much of it. But I'm going to really go into it. So first I want to start off with the actual characters in the game. So of course we have Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman. He's in the game, of course, you know, you're playing as him. The gameplay is almost a narrative version, so you control the responses. You have to match your actions to what shows up on the screen. You gotta hit the right buttons, and Batman correlates with them. If you miscalculate a button push, you end up dying and have to start that scene all over again. Another character that's in the game is Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon has just a little side position, you know, when Batman interacts with him. And it's very interesting how they interact because, you know, Commissioner Gordon acts different towards Bruce Wayne than he does with Batman, but it also depends on how you play the game. So if you're going around hurting people, Commissioner Gordon's more evil toward Batman, whereas, you know, if you're doing good, he's more friendly towards you. And the same is said about Bruce Wayne. Whenever they interact, depending on what your response are to the conversation, it really changes the way he responds back to you. Another big character in the game is Harvey Dent. He is running for mayor, and Bruce Wayne is supporting him. So their story is still going with them being friends. It really plays out well. One interesting thing I noticed about Harvey is that he's kind of big. Like, he's really tall and kind of muscular, and he has a big stature. But it's kind of interesting that they did that because, you know, it's kind of a guy that has power, but he kind of has too much power. So it's really interesting what they do with him. But what's really cool is that the story with Harvey Dent is you actually create Two-Face, or you don't create him, but it's really good what they do with the story. So definitely check it out and see how the way you play the game determines if you actually create Two-Face or you create a good Harvey Dent, or you can create a bad Harvey Dent that's not Two-Face, which is crazy, but he's still doing Two-Face shit. So yeah. Another supporting character in the game is Alfred. Alfred's in the game. He's pretty much a support character. Your interaction with him is important too. You know, one cool thing about the gameplay with this game is that your actions determine the way the game plays, and you want to do your best. It actually kind of makes it stressful too, because if you mess up, you don't know what the outcome would be, and it comes out later. But usually for Alfred, I'm pretty sure everybody will treat Alfred really nicely, so I'm going to try to play it again and see if I can maybe piss Alfred off and see how that works out. Another big character in the game is Selina Kyle. Yes, Selina's in the game. Her interaction with Batman is pretty cool. She's actually the first person you go against. There's a fight between you and her on the rooftop, and it's a pretty cool scene. Later on, as the story develops, you kind of have a bit of a relationship with Selina, and there's a chance that you could smash. But remember, any decision you make in this game is going to have a huge consequence later on in the game, so you really have to choose your responses carefully. Another big player in the game is Falcone, the mob boss of Gotham. He's in the game, and his story with the Waynes is a huge freaking twist. I'm going to explain that a little bit later when I go into the actual story of the game, but his involvement with the Wayne family is insane, and like, it's a story that you haven't heard before. The next character that's in the game is Osborn, aka the Penguin. But what's crazy about the Penguin is that he's not the fat guy that you're used to seeing. He's actually slender, charming type fellow. He doesn't have the the penguin hands. He's just a little bit of a little hustler looking guy, but your interaction with him is pretty cool. And there's a scene with him taking over Wayne Enterprise. Spoiler, sorry. Yeah, so your interaction with him is pretty cool. Him and Bruce Wayne went to school together. They grew up childhood friends, and somehow they kind of split apart. They never really go into details exactly what happened, but it's definitely something happened between the two. Alright, one of the plot twists of all the characters in the game is Vicky Vale. Now, if you ever watch the movies, you know Vicky Vale's a reporter, and you know her interaction with Batman are kind of they're kind of lovers. But in this storyline, she isn't who you think she is. Alright, we're going to talk a little bit about the Bat gadgets. Batman does have a few cool gadgets in this game. One of the big ones, I mean, you don't really get to use a lot of them. They're just pretty much part of the scenes that they play through. He'll throw like Bat arrows. But Batman has the Bat drone, I would say. That's really cool. It actually scouts around for you. He actually releases a few in the city trying to find the Penguin or Osborn. So he's able to ping phones and be able to listen to conversations, and that's how he's able to track him down. But later on in the game, he actually... I also forgot that Lucius Fox is in the game too. He plays a supporting character. He's the one that helps Batman with his tech gadgets and stuff. So he upgrades the drone and makes it so it actually can shoot weapons. Alright, this is probably the coolest part of the entire game. So Batman has this cool Lamborghini Ferrari looking car, and it actually transforms into the Batmobile. Look, check that shit out. That was pretty dope, right? Some other stuff Batman has. He has like the Bat computer. He's got EMP grenades that he throws. He still has the smoke grenades. So that's pretty much all it is with his weapons. And Selina Kyle actually has this cool little magnet elevator thing where she can attach it to anything and it will propel her up. It's almost like Batman's grappling hook, but without the grappling hook. You have to be actually against the wall or something and it'll pull you up. One cool gadget Batman has is what's called, well, I'm calling it detective mode. If you ever played any of the other Batman games, Batman has detective mode where you can actually analyze a crime scene. And what's cool about this is that in the game, when you use detective mode, you use it in certain places, and when you use it, like, you investigate like a blood stain and like a mark on the wall, and you link it together, and then after you link all the evidence inside the room, it actually does a cool little playback to show you like how the accident happened. So it's basically Batman's detective mode determining like how everything went down, and it's really cool because it fills in the character spots and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome compared to the actual video game. Another cool thing with the detective mode is that Batman can analyze his plan of attack. So there's scenes where Batman there'll be enemies in a room, and you have to pick out like how's the best way to attack. And you usually will have options like you can bust through the door, grab the person's head, and slam it to the table, or you can jump over the person, grab them by the head, flip them, and throw them into the wall. So there's a bunch of different options you can do when it comes to attacking somebody, and the game definitely does that very, very well. All right, let's get into the actual gameplay. So like I said before, the gameplay plays like arrows are like keys from the controller will show up on the screen, and you have to hit the button at the right time. There's combo moves, so if you do perfectly for like not 15, but like 5 people or so, there's a special move you can do where you do like a special attack to somebody. So like you do more than just punch them. Like you can punch them, slam them to the table, flip them over, and yada yada yada. But it's really cool when you do fill that up. But it's kind of a challenge because if you don't hit it right, then you lose that chance. You have to either play that scene again or you just keep going on with the game. Now another part of the gameplay is the story mode. So while the story is going, you actually choose the response that Bruce Wayne or Batman gives, or even his actions sometimes too. So it's like you have the option to break somebody's arm, or you have the option to just let him go. Not let him go, but like not hurt him so he doesn't go telltale or whatever. When you choose your response, it has a huge impact on the game. So like if you're talking to, like say you're talking to Falcone, and he wants to, you know, shake your hand and you chose not to, well, that has a consequence later on too, because he basically thinks that you're not trustworthy. So everything you do in this game has a huge impact, and you really have to think about what you're going to do. And it actually gets pretty stressful at points. You're like, oh my god, did I do the right thing? Did I piss somebody off? Is this going to come back to haunt me? And a lot of times, some of the stuff do come back to haunt you. It really do. Alright, now let's get into the story. I just want to say that this Batman game is one of the most violent Batman game I've ever played. There's so much killing. There's people getting murdered. Like the first scene starts off with a guy getting shot in the head. Like, straight from the get-go, just BAT! Dead. I was like, whoa, that's... I mean, they have killing in games, but this one's like pretty up there in violence. There's cursing too, so even Bruce Wayne curses. He doesn't say the F. He doesn't need F-bombs, but he'll say like damn or shit. But still, it's not very common to hear, or at least in my opinion, I don't think I've ever heard Batman say a bad word. So this was definitely a different twist on that. Like I mentioned before, the twist with the Penguin is that he's slender, but he's also more cunning, I feel like, and more of a con man, and he kind of cons his way up to the top, which you get to see as the story progresses. Probably in about episode 3 or 4, you see the Penguin kind of snaking his way into Wayne Enterprise, and it's actually a really good story how it happens. One of the huge story twists in this game is that Selina Kyle knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. She finds that out pretty early in the game, and it's kind of interesting too because it has a huge impact on your relationship. So you can either dog Selina out, or you can try to chase after her and try to get in them draws. Now, one of the huge, I know I said huge earlier, but this is one of the biggest twists in the entire game. The history of the Waynes in Gotham and with Arkham is insane. Like, I've never even heard of a storyline like this. The storyline is that the Waynes basically were experimenting on people, or at least Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, was experimenting people in Arkham, because he is a doctor, but he was experimenting on a lot of people in Arkham, and the truth comes out, and Bruce Wayne never even knew about this. His father was also tied in with the gangsters, and he actually worked with Falcone. I feel like it broke Bruce Wayne's heart. Like, it was really hard to see him come to terms with finding out that story. But it also, one of the crazy things about the game too is one thing you never really see with the Batman origin with his parents being killed. You never really see his parents being killed. It's just kind of implied. Like there's usually like a cutaway where there's like a flash from the gun going off, and you see the mom's pearl go flying on the ground, or you see their bodies just go falling. But this one, they actually showed them being murdered. Like, cold-blooded murdered. So when the scene takes place, because they actually show you, Thomas Wayne gets shot first. And he gets first shot in the stomach, and then he's shot in his chest, and then he gets shot dead in the eye. Like, point blank in the eye. And he just goes falling. I was like, holy shit, did that really happen? And then he turns around and shoots the mom once again, shoots her in the stomach, and then shoots her in the chest, and she's dead. I was like, this is insane. I've never seen something as bloody and brutal as this. But what's interesting too is that the story progresses. Bruce Wayne ends up at Arkham, and he runs into, yes, the Joker. I forgot to mention that earlier in the characters that are in the game. But yes, the Joker is in the game. He talks with Bruce Wayne while he's in Arkham, and he interacts with them. And he's pretty funny in the game. But the reason why Batman ends up in Arkham, or Bruce ends up in Arkham, you definitely have to play the game to find out. I'm going to keep that a spoiler-free clue. So play the game. So yeah, that was my review of Telltale Games. My ratings, I would give this a hard 4.5. Some of the problems I have with the game is that it was kind of glitchy. I had to restart it a bunch of times. It kept freezing on me, which was no. I just had to restart and I just pretty much replayed the scene. The game is really good at causing you to be very stressful when you're trying to determine your decision. And what's cool is that it's timed, so you don't have like a lot of time to come up with your answer. There's actually a little time bar that pops up, and it slowly starts to decrease so that you know, like, hey, you got to answer this question like right now, right now, right now, right now. And if you don't select the question, it gives a blank answer, which is kind of an option for you too to give. You can give a blank answer, but you know it's better to answer because you're basically the director of the game, and you're the director of the game, and you're directing the movie. You're basically watching a movie, and you're the director, and you're controlling everything. So yeah, guys, so if you enjoyed this review, which I hope you did, definitely smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out our podcast, which hopefully should be popping up down below. Check out the podcast. Check out our React videos, and check out some of our other reviews we do. Yeah, if you like these reviews, we'll keep doing it. So until next time, peace out. I'm Batman. Play this game, or you'll be sorry. Ha ha ha. Wait, Batman doesn't laugh.